Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are here with Say What with James and Keisha, and we have our movie reviews for the month of June. Now we have a spectacular lineup, and we'll be talking about some action-packed stunts to spine-chilling horrors. We're going to review The Fall Guy, The Watchers, Bad Boys, Ride or Die, and The Exorcism. So go grab some popcorn and let's get ready to rumble. Okay, so first up we have The Fall Guy, and we have Ryan Gosling. He takes the lead as Colt Seavers, a seasoned Hollywood stuntman who finds himself in the middle of a real-life action flick. The film brings a nostalgic vibe reminiscent of the classic action comedy series that it's based on, but it has a modern twist.
Yeah, remember Lee Majors played Colt Seavers back in the day when it was a series.
Actually, I had never watched The Fall Guy, and if I had, I was very young, so I didn't even put two and two together until the ending credits. But I love Ryan Gosling, and I love Emily
Blunt.
Yes, so when I saw them in the previews for the movie, I knew I had to see it. So why don't you tell us what this storyline is about, James?
Okay, it goes around Colt, who after breaking his back during a stunt gone wrong, steps away from his high-octane career. But just when he thought he left the action behind, he's pulled back into the chaos with his ex-girlfriend, Jody, who is Emily Blunt, becomes the director of a space opera film. And the action star was Tom Ryder, who was played by Aaron Taylor Johnson. He goes missing during the filming of the movie. The film is packed with exhilarating stunts, betrayals, and a plot that keeps you guessing. The chemistry between Gosling and Blunt is palpable, adding depth to the film's emotional beats.
Yes, I definitely agree. They definitely had some chemistry on there with with their romance. I was definitely rooting for them.
Yeah, it was.
And from the beginning to the end, it was a very good movie. I really enjoyed it. It was a family-friendly movie, and I loved the movie. Now, the action sequences, they're top-notch. We have jaw-dropping stunts, especially the one that went bad. Now, this is a spoiler alert. If you have not saw the movie, watch it first, then come back, because we're gonna spoil it for you. But when he fell and broke his back, it's kind of like he went into a depression, and you know he didn't want to act anymore. But the stunts, excuse me. And the funny part was when he was working at the restaurant, and the guy had known him to be a stunt guy. He tried to play him a little bit by throwing him his car keys, and how he did those donuts in the parking lot with his car, and then the guy was like, "Oh, it's a rental." Yeah, that was funny. That was funny, and the way that the manager got him to come back.
Yeah, she was a trip too.
Yeah,
she basically lied to him and told him that Emily Blunt with Jody wanted him to do the stunts for her movie. And she knew nothing about it. But
yes, especially because Colt he didn't talk to her. He cut her off for like, how long was it? About a year?
Yeah.
He cut her off because he was embarrassed by having his back broken. But it was the storyline for me. They wanted him to come back and replace the actor, which Aaron Taylor Johnson, who played Tom Ryder. They wanted him to come back and do the stunts because he had gone missing. And it was they were just low down. And the part that I loved was that jacket that he had. It was a Miami Vice jacket.
Yeah. And
so when he first went to the guy's house, Tom Ryder's house, and the young lady that was there, they wanted him to find him to play detective. The young lady that was there, she was like, "Oh, well, you can't go anywhere with me looking like that." And he was like, "Well, this is my jacket I got for playing on Miami Vice." But from the time they drugged him with the drink, now everybody knows that if I did not see you pouring it out the bottle, and even now, the things that we know about a certain celebrity's party, you can't even drink stuff out of the bottles in their house. So it was just, they just set him up from the beginning to the end. But I love the stunt when he got away in that boat at the end. That was really cool, and I actually it had me teary eyed. But I was glad that him and Jody did get back together.
Yeah.
But overall, The Fall Guy was a great movie. I thought it was for a family. You could watch it with your kids. And it was a mix of action, comedy, and a bit of romance. And I definitely recommend checking it out. And for me, I'm going to have to say, because of the appeal of the movie, because it was for everyone could watch it, I think that was my favorite movie that I saw in the month of June.
Yeah, it was good, but it's probably my second favorite movie.
Okay, so
for June.
Again,
disagree.
We disagree. Next up is The Watchers. Now, I will say this about M. Night Shyamalan, what we've come to realize. I love his movies. Some are hit, some are miss. Like Lady in the Water. I love that movie.
I ain't like it.
The Village. I love that movie.
That was pretty good.
But this movie, his daughter directed it, and I expected more. But we have Dakota Fanning, who is Mia, and basically she has grown up to look like a very sad individual in this movie. She just has a sad persona about herself. She used to remind me of my cousin Keela back in the day, and when she played with Denzel Washington and all. But it's just like now she just had this little sad look about herself. So this movie is set in the hauntingly beautiful forests of Ireland. Mia finds herself trapped in a bizarre and terrifying situation where she and a small group of strangers are watched by mysterious shape-shifting creatures. Now, first of all, she is working at a job and she's told to take a bird,
some rare bird,
to a destination. And she's traveling, she's distant from her family, and she gets into the middle of nowhere. She has
some forest.
No cell phone signal. The car dies, and she just starts walking with the bird, and she runs into the group of people that are also trapped there.
And they tell them, hey, if you wanna stay alive, you might want to come with us and get inside before dark.
And the creatures just want to watch them, I guess, on their everyday. It's like a makeshift house, and they have different areas.
Because the creatures like shapeless, they watch you, everything you do, so they can basically be you.
And they want you to face them when they're watching you. So basically, it's an isolated setting. It's combined with constant feeling of being watched. It does create kind of an unnerving experience. And the creatures known as the Watchers, they are some weird.
The lady was saying like they was fairies or something.
Yeah. And they have an ability to mimic human behavior. And it does add a different layer of fear. But my whole thing is, if I have to stay in this room for the rest of my life and be watched, I'm going to take my chance on getting got. What about you?
Well, I wouldn't have been out there anyway. But the whole thing is the doctor, he took his people out there. He was he knew about the fairy, whatever the creatures were, and he was trying to bring his wife back because his wife had passed away. So he was trying to bring her back by these creatures, and that went horribly wrong.
Yes, and they discovered that, and so they decided to. It was Mia and the young lady that had played in the movie.
Was she the one in Barbarian?
Yeah, she was in Barbarian, and Madeline. They decided to escape, but there's a twist.
They had to hurry up because the dude, when they got in, you remember they went down into the, it was a spot in the floor where
They had
at.
discovered
They
what he was
discovered
doing.
went down,
Yeah.
and they watched the film on him. He basically told them how to get out of there. It was a boat out, and they had to get there, but they could go past because they had signs in the woods saying this is as far as you can go here. If you go here, ain't no turning back.
Because by the time you get back to the location, it'll be dark. So now if you haven't seen the movie, we're about to spoil it for you. So the twist is that Madeline is actually a hybrid watcher.
Mm-hmm.
And
she was actually the wife.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when they had gotten back to the friend's house, Mia actually realized that Madeline was one of the watchers. So we definitely, I definitely thought it was going to be a little bit different. It is a psychological horror. I would have to say that this is going to have to be my number 3 for the month of June.
Yeah, it probably was between that and The Exorcism. Yeah, it's probably my third too.
So, next up, you take
Bad Boys Ride or Die. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence play their roles again of Marcus and Mike Lowry, and they're bringing their signature blend of humor, action to the big screen once again. This time around, the stakes are higher as they find themselves up against a dangerous conspiracy that threatens to tarnish the legacy of the late Captain Conrad Howard.
Now, I will say, we are in the den. Coco is in here too. So last time we had Coco and Aaliyah. This time we just have Coco. I will say I'm not a fan of movies that go back and make something that was not there before just to write a movie. But I do love Will Smith, Martin Lawrence. It is packed with twists and turns. And it starts off, if you haven't seen it, don't watch this review. It starts off with them racing to Will Smith's wedding. And of course, Marcus has to stop by the store. Was he saying he wasn't feeling well? He needed a ginger ale.
Yeah. They told him you only got 15, he said
a minute or something.
A minute to go in there and get that ginger ale and come on back out.
And Martin gets in there. Did he get some Skittles?
Got some Skittles.
And then he's like,
asked about
are these hot dogs fresh? And the dude was like, yeah, I just put them on last night. I just put them on like 2 days, like last night or something.
Yeah.
And he was like, give me one. And then the gentleman goes in to rob the store. And Will Smith is coming in there. And basically they just break it up. The guy end up getting shot, and he's like, hey, call the police. And the guy behind the counter, it was funny, he was ratting Martin out. No, you didn't. You got some Skittles. And he was like, aren't y'all the police? But he did get married, and
during the marriage, at the reception, Martin was dancing.
He was doing the wop.
And had a heart attack.
He was wobbling, and he had a heart attack. And
he during the
while he was in like a coma, he was like
he was dreaming or whatever, and he saw Captain Howard in his dream. Yeah, and he when he came to, he thought he had a new break on life, and he
at least on life.
Yeah, he couldn't die.
Yeah, and Coco has somebody's sock, just to let you guys know. That's why I was looking at her. But yeah, so he's wobbly. He was having a good time, and so while he's out, he's getting the new lease on life, like James said. And what the bad part about what happened in the last movie is now Will Smith has anxiety.
Yeah.
So it's really affecting his job performance and everything. And were they out when they heard about Comrade Howard?
They was trying to. It was reports to saying he had dealings with the cartel.
He was laundering money,
Yeah,
and things like that. And so they were trying to clear his name. And then it goes back where Will Smith is talking to his son because they're trying to say that he was with the cartel and all this stuff.
Well,
and
they wanted to talk to him because they thought maybe he knew the truth about the captain, and he was like, "No, the captain." His son said the captain had nothing to do with it, but he know who did.
he could identify who was.
And
So they arranged, because the cops were crooked. Some of the cops in the movie were crooked, and they saw him and his son talking, and so they tried to get him while he was in jail, but they didn't know that he wasn't like them.
Yeah.
And he beat those jokers down.
like he beat Will up in the third one.
Yeah, so he beat them down, and then they were gonna move him, but the Rita and her new fiance, we knew it was something a little bit weird about him. He was pulling strings, but we knew there was something up with the mayor, and we didn't know if Rita was in on it. And then the captain's daughter, she was, taking offense, especially when she found out that they were trying to work with Will Smith's son
They was moving him, and the guy who actually, the special forces guy, who actually was working with the cartel.
Yeah.
He got on the plane that they was trying to ship Will Smith's son to a different location so he could identify the perpetrator. But everything broke off in the air, and they had the fight.
He made the pilot call and say that they had a gun.
That they hijacked them.
The plane. And so it was recorded. And so Rita didn't know who to believe. And the
captain's daughter thought they was breaking out his son.
And so in the process of all this, Will Smith and Martin have to go and talk to Kelly and her boyfriend. They didn't know that they were dating at the time, but they had to get help with them.
Yeah,
and so while they were enlisting their help, Martin was like, "Hey, can you look at my ring camera?" And they saw some people about to break in the house.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, Reggie is on leave, and he is eating up everything in the house, and Martin just knows that he's the one that ate up all his snacks. He didn't know that his new wife, played by Tasha Smith, we have a new wife, Tasha Smith, had thrown away the junk food because when he had the heart attack, he wasn't supposed to eat that type of food. But he called Reggie, and Reggie was on those video games, but Reggie went to work on those jokers that broke in the house.
They saw on the video that people breaking in. And Reggie ain't the same old Reggie, because Reggie wore him out. The dude, the guy was like, "Who the heck is this guy?"
Yeah, Reggie.
Reggie
was like, he must have been in special forces.
Reggie was like John Wick.
Reggie was like Liam Neeson in Taken. He wore all of them out, and then looked at the camera and saluted.
Yeah.
So that was funny. But Will Smith was trying to call his wife, but she's not answering the phone. Always have your phone on you. And meanwhile, the granddaughter of Conrad Howard, Captain Howard, his granddaughter comes over to the house because she knows that Martin and Will are innocent. Mike and what's their names in here?
Mike and Marcus.
Marcus and Mike are innocent, and ends up getting kidnapped with Will Smith's wife.
With Mike's wife.
So then they put a bounty out on them, and DJ Khaled, he got it first. He got it bad. I don't think he's gonna be in the next Bad Boys. And that Tiffany Haddish, her nasty mouth.
Yeah. But the thing was, when they did break they talked to Rita, Mike talked to Rita, and they knew exactly where they was at, and Mike was they were trying to figure out how, and it came down to the mayor. The mayor guy was the one that was telling the special forces guy.
Yeah, and so Rita found out. They had a little confrontation, and they end up having to try to trade hostages and witnesses, and a big fight breakout scene at this alligator park. But now, what's refreshing is that there's deeper emotional stakes. Like I told you guys, Will Smith is freaking out. He had the clean shot to take the guy out,
get his wife back.
But that anxiety was kicking in, and the dynamic between Mike and Marcus is strong as ever. I don't know how strong it stayed, because Marcus kept saying that while he was, in his coma, like in their other life, like he was higher than Will Smith.
Will was a donkey.
He kept saying he was like higher, and he thought that he couldn't die. He thought he couldn't die, so he walks out in traffic. But yeah, he just thought he was up here. So I don't know how long the their friendship, how long it lasted, or their bond. But it was a very good movie. The reason that I had to rate it like number 2 was because of the language. But in the end, it stayed true to the franchise's roots. It offered something new for longtime fans, and it's a wild ride you wouldn't want to miss. We know that our cousin Cameron, this is the first Bad Boys that he saw, and he was like, I can't believe I've been missing this. It was a good movie.
It was the best movie in June for me.
Yeah, I think it was the best out of the Bad Boys installments, but because of family friendliness, I had to give it a 2.
1.
All right, finally, let's delve into the world of the supernatural horror with The Exorcism, starring Russell Crowe as Anthony Miller. Now, I will say that Russell Crowe is one of my favorite actors, especially in that movie when he had the road rage.
Oh, yeah.
And he was not...
Gladiator.
He wasn't anything to play with in that movie, So, but this movie, I would have to say, was something else. Now, this film sets itself apart by the beginning scenes is the first gentleman that was playing the role getting killed. What more do you need? I'm gonna pass on that role. So we have Russell Crowe, who is Miller. He's an aging actor. He has a troubled past. He takes on the role of a priest in a horror movie, only to find that he let the demons in himself, both literally and figuratively. Now, the tension builds as his character spirals into madness. Now, this is what I couldn't understand about the movie. Him and his daughter had a very tumultuous relationship, and he had done a lot of things in his past that he was not happy about. He had a drinking problem. His wife was sick. He basically abandoned her. So, like one of the first couple of weeks or days while he's taking on this new character, his daughter's trying to help him. Now, she calls him by his first name. She doesn't call him Dad. She finds him downstairs, butt naked. Reciting Latin. And okay, so first of all, Latin, you're naked. I mean, I guess she thought he was in a stupor. I don't know. So then they have a priest on set. You're automatically fired because you cannot tell that this gentleman right here is getting possessed. So then the daughter, her and the young Chloe Bailey's sister, they get close. Now this is what I can't understand. You have an alcohol problem. You're an alcoholic. Why are you having a party at your house and allowing people to drink? And you know you're not strong enough to handle it. And why is your director, who knows you have an alcohol problem, letting you drink and inviting you to drink? And then when it gets out of hand, he's acting like he didn't play a part in it. So the part that tripped me out is they're having a party and his daughter walks in her room and the Bailey girl is in there. And she's acting like it's her room. And so the girl's like, well, you know, excuse me, I'll let you, you know, stay in here or whatever. And then they smoke. But privacy, hello. So it's just like things just keep getting worse and worse. And they just want to blame it on the fact that, especially his daughter, you're not taking your medication. This boy is looking terrible.
Yeah.
He is looking beyond terrible. And the priest, they go, the daughter and the Bailey girl, sorry, I don't know your name, but they go talk to the priest, and he definitely needed to be fired. Then she tells him, she plays a recording of what he was downstairs saying, and he's like, oh no, it's nothing to be worried about. Yeah, he's gonna be fine. And then he looks up the words, and he sees that it's like a demonic ritual or something that the man's doing. But he just told the daughter, oh, he's gonna be fine. So when everything just explodes, when Russell Crowe's on the screen, and by the way, the guy that played the director, I wrote out all the names so I would have it, because yeah, let's see now. Ryan Simpkins was Russell Miller's daughter. Lee and David Hyde Pierce as Father Connor. Now he needs to be just period fired. And the gentleman that played the director, he was abusive. He was terrible.
Yeah, he was dogging it.
And yeah, he deserved everything that happened to his film because of the way that he talked to Russell Crowe. I did not appreciate that at all. I'm trying to find his name so I could call it out. But anyway, so Russell Crowe he's looking terrible. And you know, this dude either needs to be put in the hospital or he needs an exorcism. And he's talking crazy to him. So then he's just banging his head on the table. And his daughter, her thing is, Dad, are you taking your medicine? So when he starts freaking out and saying all kind of crazy stuff to her and her girlfriend, then it's like, okay, let's go get the priest. But the priest, like I said, he should have been fired. He comes in, and what really did it for me is, how can Satan cast out Satan? So the demon he's fully manifested in Russell Crowe. And the priest, he's just like, just take me instead. Okay. And then the daughter with her girlfriend, they attempt to cast out the demon. And then I'm just like, okay, this is the worst depiction of an exorcism I've ever seen. Obviously, we just took the whole biblical meaning out of this, period, because the only name that you're gonna cast the demon out in is Jesus. Yeah. I don't care who you are. But yeah, for me, this was the worst movie. I like Russell Crowe, and he does a phenomenal job. He did a phenomenal job in the acting, but the script was trash.
Yeah. Movie, it was dead last for me.
Because again, don't get it twisted. Satan can't drive out Satan.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. But so yeah, that was dead last on our list. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you're interested in hearing about the movie reviews, we go check out a movie every Tuesday. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, and tell us what was your favorite movie out of the 4 that we mentioned. Yeah. What did you like the most? What did you like the least? Let's talk about it. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a great evening.
Deuce.